Hello everybody, it's Joshino here, and today I'm taking a look at Trove, which is a free-to-play MMORPG with a very action-oriented, pixel-based graphic voxel design. So a lot of my subscribers have seen me playing this game and made very different comments. Some are saying, oh, this game is really fun, and added me in game, and then others have said, Josh, why are you playing this crap? There's no end game, etc, etc. So I thought this was a brilliant game to pick up, and it's just worth a chat about. If anyone didn't know, Cubeworld, which is in the title, is a voxel based game which is loosely like this game, apart from the fact that there's more destruction in the world, because in Trove you can build, you can go dig down like in Minecraft and take out one block at a time. But in Cubeworld, the whole world was voxel based, so they're very tiny chunks rather than these big square blocks. So they're voxels as well, but larger voxels. So basically Cubeworld was made up of very small voxels. However, if you look in Trove, a lot of the items and I think they're randomly generated at least, and you can change your appearance by using these voxels the same way you can doing Cubeworld, and the voxels are basically tiny little squares that you can edit your character with or items with. And I know that a lot of people say this is a Minecraft copy, but I say it's a lot more like a Cubeworld copy. And the problem with Cubeworld was that Wally, the lead designer and creator, sort of went AWOL, and it's been over a year now since the last update. And I actually bought the game for about £20 at the time because I thought, this looks really fun, and it was fun for a little while, but it is very, very unfinished. So how does Trove measure up? Well, firstly, I'm going to say that I know that a lot of people have said, Josh, why are you playing this game? It's a waste of time, there's no endgame content, which I'm not really sure about because it was only released about 10 days ago. About 2 weeks, 10 days, 2 weeks ago it was released on Steam. So I don't really know what the development cycle is and whether the end game is being fixed, but I'll say this, that this game is very relaxing. It's what I call a chill out game, and I'm actually a fan of chill out music as well, but this game is a game that you can just sort of sit back, do a little bit of grinding, just sort of let go, I suppose, let your hair down. And you could even watch a video at the same time whilst you're playing the game if you have the bandwidth to do so. It's only 170 megabytes and it's completely free to play, so there really isn't anything stopping you from playing the game, and I think it's quite a shame to miss out on the architecture in this game. So basically the randomly generated biomes are very diverse actually. For example, the most, over the top one I went into was a rainbow biome, and the whole of the dungeon that I entered, that basically the game is made up of lots of little mini automatically generated dungeons where you go in and basically quest and try and clear out the bosses. But this one was up in the air, and it was made of rainbows and clouds. I thought, wow, this looks fantastic. And sometimes in the game you can just wander around something and be in awe and just take in the architecture and think, wow, that's really pretty. And then you don't need anything more than that, and I think that a few times in this game I've had that feeling. And the questing in the dungeons is quite fun, however I can see that it get very repetitive after time. But basically after the first levels, basically the dungeons are made up of a few NPCs and then a boss. But in the later dungeons, after like level 9, the dungeons can turn into these 3 boss dungeons which have lots of different traps in them, lots of different bosses to take on, and lots of the NPCs going through it. And the actual design of the bases is quite fun. You're going through like a bit of a platformer area, sometimes you're jumping over traps, you're fighting your way through lots of smaller NPCs to get to the main boss, and then the actual boss rooms have lots of like fireballs firing across the map whilst you're trying to take on the boss, and the boss spawns lots of more NPCs, and it's actually a very fun fight. I'm currently a ice mage because I quite like magic casters and ranged characters, to be honest, so I haven't really even played around with other classes yet, so that's something else that would add time onto my gameplay. I also haven't got out into the whole world yet, and that's something to take into consideration because I'm having fun in the game before I've done that, but I'm fairly sure that the outside game you build a ship and you go outside into this Trove world. And I have been in pirate biome before, and it's they're quite interesting as well. Partly there's an underwater biome, so if you don't have a boat, you just sink into the water. Underneath there's crabs and sea monsters and things like that, and then you can climb back out to get onto the islands where there are pirate biomes. I think there's lots of other little fun features as well in the game. Like, you have a mount straight away for free, and there's so many different weapons, and you can actually save the weapon design, so this voxel-based design, and reskin any of your weapons, basically. So you save the weapon into your collection, and then you can reskin any of the weapons that you pick up, which partly is good because it gives you the option of customization, but also it's very hard to tell who in the game world is higher level, because you have really no idea, because there's so many different designs of these randomly generated weapons, and because you can just change it to your whim, you have no idea who's most powerful. There's also this building mode where basically you can plonk your house down on any of the plots in the world and it stays there temporarily. And this house you can build with blocks from the game world, and you can pretty much mine anywhere apart from a dungeon. So it's very open. It's almost like a Minecraft-y sort of situation, although you do have to switch between mining mode and the combat mode, which is kind of annoying because it means that you're very vulnerable whilst you're in the mining mode. And there's also crafting, although I'm not too keyed up in the crafting system, but there's lots of resources around the world that you collect on top of all of the combat that you do. So really, is this game worth a play? I'd say yes, if you're interested in these sort of MMOs, you enjoy quite a surreal, maybe cartoony art style. It could be worth just having a wander around the world, checking out the biomes and having a little bit of a nosy, to be honest, because it is nice. The architecture is nice. The combat's quite fun. I mean, there's lots of variation in the enemies and their attacks, and also the actual stages where these dungeons are. They're quite interesting locations with lots of different traps and things to dodge. And as I've said, I've played for about 6 hours now, and I've had 6 hours of fun, and it really didn't take me very long to download the game, 170 megabytes. So personally, I think it was worthwhile. I haven't spent any money, I haven't lost anything, and it's something that I use to chill out, and sort of, it's maybe if I played a very tense game, or I'm having a bad time on Planetside, or CSGO, or Dota 2, or something like that, then I can just go onto Trove and just chill out. And how does it compare to Cubeworld? Well, I think it does a very good job in recreating the very happy-go-lucky feeling of the game, and the aesthetics of it look very much like Cubeworld. However, it isn't the same game. This has definitely got a lot more RPG elements and the MMO elements in it, and obviously the free-to-play aspect of it does make it kind of. Free-to-play games always have this money incentive, and they have to have little bits of content, and are always very disjointed. I don't know how to explain it, but you're always aware that they're trying to make money out of you all of the time. Whereas with Cubeworld, the world is there purely for your enjoyment because you paid for the game, even though it may be a little less completed at the moment. So that's always something to take into consideration. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. If you're sad that this video is over and you want to see and hear more of me, please do subscribe in the top left there. And like and comment with any questions or anything that you found interesting or you didn't like in this video. Until next time, everybody, Joshino.